Rev it.
It's gonna take a while to rev it. I can rev it in a little. Woo! It's cold right now, so you gotta warm up. But I can let you rev it.
I like the license plate Wildcat.
Yeah, my grandfather, he told me when I got my the car that I wanted to put it on. He got it for me when I was 16. When I got this car when I was 19, I put it on, and that's his nickname.
Engine?
Yeah, I'm coming.
This is beautiful. I never thought I would see a Evo.
There's not a lot of them, that's for sure.
How fast have you gone with it?
I mean, out on the toll road, I've been to 150 on it, but I can go a little bit higher on this car. It's really quick.
Ride?
It's really fast. Yeah, I can ride in a minute.
Yeah.
Gotta warm it up still, but it's got a lot done to it. It's really the quick, like 0 to 60 thing. It's a little wet right now, so I'll try it when the sun's coming out. It's on ethanol and 93. It can go on either fuel. It's got 400 wheel horsepower. It's got a lot of stuff done to it. It's an older car. It's an 04.
Can you slide it?
What's that?
Slide it, lift it?
No.
No, you never have
it?
Not
on this car. Well, if it was really wet, you could, but because it's all-wheel drive, you can't normally do it. But, yeah, it's 212,000 miles.
212.
Car. I'm the second owner of this car. 2018. So the car's really low to the ground. I've broken 4 front lips since I've owned this car, just because, especially when it rains, little water crossings and stuff like that, it gets banged up, and you gotta get another one. But for the most part, it's good to go.
I've seen like mini Skylines,
Yeah,
and
like guys around there
MK3 Supra.
Yep.
But never an Evo.
Yeah, there was another guy that I knew here. He moved to Florida. He had an Evo, his Evo 9. But I've seen a couple guys. There's another guy who I know around here has a black one, but then this guy drives the Evo 10, the newest one. But the old body style, like the old ones from like Fast and Furious, because when I saw this car in Fast and Furious in the second movie, and it was green, I was like, I want one of those cars one day. and
then there you go.
Yeah. So. Got a lot done to it as far as the engine goes. It's a mill engine. It's got 100,000 on the engine. It's 200,000 on the body. So it's got cams, valves, springs.
So what's that switch?
What's up?
That switch. What is that?
So the switch, that's the intercooler water switch. Actually, it's how I switch between 93 and ethanol. So you switch fuel sources there, but also if it was plumbed up, what it does is there's water sprayers down by your intercooler, and you can click that switch and it'll spray it whenever you're accelerating.
So here's the question.
Oh yeah.
Do you mind if I post the video on YouTube?
That's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, so all this inside is usually gray, so we blacked it out just to make it a little better. Everything else is stock in here. Radio relocation, so radio's normally here, radio's down here now, gauges here, radar detector for you know what. I used to have Underglow, which I have a switch for here, but it's not hooked up. I need to replace that.
Ooh, Hunter, real quick, do you mind if I get a video of you revving it real quick?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we can rev it in a minute. I'll park us somewhere and we can rev it.
All right.
I just don't want to do it right here in front of the house.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, we can move in. We'll rev it somewhere else for sure.
All right, cool.
And then I think, all right, other than that, we should go. All right. So it is. So like we've got the motor mounts and a really upgraded brakes clutch. You know, this car installed a lot. It's kind of hard to drive. Just gotta get used to it. Eventually, I learned how to drive stick on this car. Actually, I've blew the clutch on it, learning on it, and then I upgraded it. So this will get up to about 190. If I'm pushing it to maybe 218, and never want this to go above halfway. So as far as temperatures go, we're actually pretty good to go. Oil pressure's good. So it's the reason I'm checking all this stuff. Normally I wouldn't. Most people don't normally check this stuff, but this is a really old car. I have 208,000 miles on this car and 100,000 on the motor. So you just got to be careful about stuff like this. I change the oil every 3,000 miles on this car just to make sure that it stays good to go. It's a little wet, so I'll wait until we get in a little drier area to really rip it, but
That turbo is nice.
so yeah, I've switched a bunch of different blow-off valves. This is my favorite one. It works the best. I used to have the really squeaky ones that were like the HKS ones, but it doesn't run that well. Another thing about this car, if something breaks on it, there's only a couple shops in Texas. This car gets tuned by Kevin at Evolution Dynamics up in Dallas. He's a wizard. He tuned this thing. He tunes a lot of people's Evos. This thing makes 335 horse, 330 torque on 93 on normal fuel, and then on ethanol, which is on right now, it's 400 on both, 400 torque, 400 wheel, on about 28 pounds, and then 24 pounds of boost on 93. I actually have the dyno sheet somewhere in here. Oh, those are my bills. You don't want to see those. I don't think you never want to get a car. Okay. It's kind of folded a little bit, but there it is. It's the dynograph for how much power it made. I'm not sure if that's the ethanol one or the 93 one, but I'm not going to get into it a little bit. It's still a little too wet. I'm going to try to find a little bit drier area before I get into it too much, but you can roll into it a little. Yeah, I feel like temperature-wise, it's pretty good. The great thing about this car is you can take turns really fast. It's got great suspension. It's got upgraded brake. It's got EBC brake pads.
Oh yeah, I can feel it.
It's got stainless steel brake lines, because that's another thing that's a big deal with cars. This car that you got to upgrade.
Man, the G-force on this car is wild.
So I'll put the brake up so I can hear the rev match. It should work. Yeah, so it locks it at 5,000, and it'll let you sit there and do it. You can hard launch on these things, but this car is really old, still OEM diff. These cars, if people know Evos, will blow the diff out really quickly. If you try to launch this car, you will just absolutely explode your rear diff. So don't want to do that. Also, the transfer case actually is the bigger thing that comes out. That's the part underneath the engine from your transmission that sends the power to the back wheels and keeps the front wheels moving because it's all-wheel drive. So that's the most common thing that breaks on this car. And this car will definitely break it if I try to launch it. So we won't launch it, but we'll try to get into some stuff for sure.
See, how's it like owning a Evo?
So I used to daily drive this car. I've owned it for 6 years now. 2018 is when I got it. Yeah, so 6 years. I drove it every single day. It was really nice. Problem is you will burn out your clutch every day around here. It's a college town. There's lots of people around here, so I've burned up a clutch once. Other than that, it's really great. It's really cool to have interactions like this, to talk to people that love JDM cars and to go to meets and stuff like that.
They're beautiful.
I've been to, so I'm from Austin. I live here now, but so we went to COTA, the Circuit of the Americas, so we used to go out there for Cars and Coffee all the time. There's a lot of meets. This car's been to some shows there once or twice, so it used to look a little bit better than this.
I heard of Cars and Coffee, but I never went. I always wanted to go.
They're cool. So it'll move, she'll get up and go. Even though she's old. It's a 20-year-old car, and I'm the second owner of it. So the guy before me, he had a couple kids, he needed to sell it, sold it to me. I picked this car for $10,000 at San Antonio back in 2018. This car is, I can sell it today for probably somewhere between 21 to 24, somewhere around there. But I put a lot of money into this car. The outside of this car is Avery Dennison. Or not Avery Dennison, sorry. It's Cheetah Wrap, and it's called Satin Blue Aluminum is the name of this color. It's an older wrap. It's done by people here
Ooh,
locally.
I see Mustang used to rev.
I see him. That's a stock one. He's not modified. That might be a mom trying to whip to the grocery store.
You might be.
There's another one too. Actually, there's a Mustang there. I'm not sure if it's a fast one though. I can't tell from here. But it's like I said, the outside satin blue aluminum, and then the brake calipers are also painted to match, and then they're wrapped in Avery Dennison pearl white to match the color.
Have you ever two-step?
So I don't have two-step installed on this car. It's kind of hard. I think there's a way to do it. I'm not going to talk about the electronics of the car because it has a stock ECU. So,
Oh, Nismo.
yeah, this is 370 Nismo.
Yeah.
So this car
370 Nismo.
has a stock ECU, so it's kind of hard to figure out. I don't know if you can. I think there's a way to do two-step.